All right, guys. So today we're going to talk about lead conversion for your internet leads. I have a little slideshow up, but it is not really a slideshow. This is just a conversation piece that we're doing today. So it is going to be how to convert your leads. We're going to talk about scripting, overcoming objections, all of that fun stuff. Really, the biggest thing with internet leads, though, I would say, is that you have to follow up. If you're not following up, they're going to die and they're going to go to another real estate agent. And that's what we're trying to avoid here. So you guys ready to start? All right. So how do you convert a real estate lead? Lana, this is a loaded question. Oh, that is Walgreens calling me. You can ignore them. All right, Lana.
My first thing is I noticed that most people will not answer the phone because they don't recognize your phone number. Most people don't open their emails, so I send a text. That's the first thing I do.
Absolutely. Now this also depends on where the lead's coming from. If you're getting a lead that is a shared lead, so Realtor.com, Zillow, pick up the phone, call them.
Yes.
If it is like a KV Core lead or something where it most likely is a passive buyer, text is a great first.
So I just want to say, hey, I saw you were searching on our website for homes. When is a good time to call you? That's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
This way they know I'm calling. They know it's not spam. They're going to pick up. So that's how I start. Another
good thing too to ask is, what's your preferred method of contact? Do you want to text? Do you want to email? Do you prefer to talk on the phone? But that may be more after they've responded to you. So you kind of ask those questions.
I think like 90% of people are texters. A lot of people don't want to talk on the phone.
I don't want to talk on the phone. I reject all my phone calls.
How many emails do you get a day? I mean, so text is like, they're holding their phone. They are.
My voicemail does say for a faster response, text me.
Mine does too. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way I'm ever since COVID. That's why how for email and text.
Well, we've gotten into hermit crabs mode. We want to hide under our rock and not talk to people, but we have to get out of that because as real estate agents, this is something that I got from Tina yesterday was your dreams are on the other side of that phone and you're just too afraid to pick them up and to do it. So it is like all you have to do is pick up the phone.
And I have it. I took all Tina's scripts and I kind of merged into something that was really comfortable in one page. So if anybody wants a copy of that,
I will make a copy, but anyone who's watching really virtually, just send me an email, Timothy@ListingNC, and we'll get you a copy of
one page. This is kind of like to talk to a conversion lead or a lead that just comes through. And have a notebook with you and answer, as they answer the questions, jot it down, and it's pretty effective.
So we'll move to our next slide. The ways that we are going to convert those leads are by picking up the phone, preparing a script, having objection handlers, and asking for their business and then following up. That is really the key to your business. And I'm passing around these scripts, the one-liners that she has. And I mean, it's very simple. She is saying, hey, this is Lana with EXP. How are you doing today? She's asking questions. You want to be very open-ended. In my previous roles working in call centers, they've always taught us how to guide a conversation. And usually when you're on the phone with somebody, you want yes or no questions because you want to move through the conversation. We want to step back from that. We want to ask those open-ended questions because we want to talk to them, but we also want to guide the conversation a little bit. But, first contact, getting them to respond to you is you have to ask them a question. If someone comes to you and the lead, I love the objection handlers. If someone comes to you and they're like, I am interested in this house, and they ask you 3 questions, maybe don't respond to their 3 questions, respond to 2 of the questions and ask them a question on top of that. So that way you're kind of getting involved. Come on in. Join us. No, we're wanting to do kind of like a roundtable style conversation with this, with how are we responding to leads? How are we getting them to convert? So having an experienced agent in the room will help. Everyone, that's Amy, that's in the corner over there. So Lana's script kind of goes through each thing and how she's responding to them. So after each step, she has another question. So she's learning information about this buyer and she's figuring out how to convert them into an appointment. Setting an appointment is key. A lot of the times we're responding to these online leads and you're like, okay, well, I'm going to set you up on a search and just let me know if there's anything that you like. And at the end of the day,
That's not good.
that's not good because they're going to end up going to Zillow or Realtor.com and they're going to end up with a different agent.
Clicking on just anybody and somebody's gonna answer the phone and say, hey, can I see this house?
Yep. And they're not messaging you. And then you're going to follow up in 2 months because you're wanting business. And then they're going to say, oh yeah, I already bought a house.
Take me off your list. I already bought a house.
And that's what we're trying to avoid is you have to be in front of them. You have to pick up the phone. You have to ask for their business. You have to say, I'm a real estate agent and I want to be your buyer's agent. I want to work with you. Can we set a time to meet, have coffee, talk about what you're looking for? You know, if they're not comfortable meeting, can we do a Zoom? Can we have a phone conversation? Can we look at some of the houses, even though you're not ready to buy right this second? Can we go and look at a house? Or you're hosting an open house this weekend.
Come with me.
Invite them to your open house. This house isn't what you're looking for, but I want you to come visit the open house. Tell me what you do and you don't like about it, and just use it as an excuse to meet me, you know, face to face. And a lot of people like that. They will show up. So use those to your advantage.
We've had a client show up to our open houses and they're totally not interested in the house, just to come out. So
Mhm. So it's really not that hard, but we're going to kind of run through this. You miss 100% of the shots you do not take. It's a fact. So pick up the phone. I'm not asking you to cold call. I'm asking you to respond to the leads that are in your system already. You know, some people build their business on cold calling. I'm not saying that that's something that you should do or shouldn't do, but this is purely the leads that you have in front of you. Follow up with them, talk to them, try and make an effort. If you're not trying, what's the point in paying for these leads? I'm paying several $100s a month for leads. There's agents that are spending several $1,000s a month on leads. I will tell you a little backstory. I'm going to pedal back a little bit for a moment here. When we first started in real estate, Lana and I were paying Realtor.com and Zillow for shared leads. We were paying probably about $500 a month each on these leads. And I wasn't trained on how to respond to them. So when someone came in with a house that was under contract already, what did I do? I said, oh, that house is under contract. Hung up the phone. That was a lead that I could have converted into a buyer, and I didn't. And that's why I wanted to have this little Q&A or roundtable with you guys so that you don't go into the same situation. A lot of you aren't paying for leads yet, which is fine. Eventually, you're going to have to either join a team or start paying for them because it's really, unless you have an amazing sphere, it's the only way to get leads. You're going to have to spend some money somewhere. So just think about that, because that is something that you're going to have to do in your real estate business. But I don't want you out there just willy-nilly responding or not responding, or you're getting that person that says that they're under contract. What should you do if someone says they're under contract?
I don't know. I haven't really had that. They're under contract. Like I've had like
so-
we already bought a house.
No. So that house isn't the house that just came in. Like the house is under contract. What are we going to do? Well,
Oh, the house is under contract.
yeah, the house they like is under contract. That
Oh.
happens all the time. What are you talking about?
Let's find out what you're looking for. Let's
What-
find something similar.
What did you like about that house that made you reach out to me about it? Because that's going to be what I'm searching for in the next house. And you don't have to necessarily tell them that house is under contract right away. So let me see if I can get you an appointment. And then while you're doing that, ask them another question. Say, while I'm looking for that, what did you like about that house? So at that point, you're doing something that no other agent is doing, which is you're trying to get them an appointment for this house. And then you come back to them and you can come back and say, you know what, that one's under contract, but I have 3 that are similar that have the features that you like. Can I set up an appointment to show you one of those? And at that point, they're going to say, oh, sure, let's take a look at that. Or they're going to say, no, I really wanted that house. If they say they really wanted that house, still stick with them, send them those leads, you know, don't give up. You keep trying it. One of the other ones that I recently heard from one of Tina's trainings is that she gets someone that says, oh, I already sold, already bought a house. At that point too, is like, you already bought a house. Why am I calling you? Well, have you thought about buying an investment property, a rental, beach house, Airbnb? You know, that's a way to flip the script and help them buy another house. Because at that point, they're orphaned. They're no longer working with an agent. So at that point, it is fair game to try and convert them into a buyer. They came through your website looking for something. And they may not be ready right now. So that's fine. I'll put you back in my sphere or unsubscribe you. But we want to do those objection handlers because they are very important. What were some of these other, let's see here.
Just looking.
Just looking. I was just curious, just looking. Well, what are you looking for? One of the big things that kind of Lana's been doing too is talking about coming soon. So if you reach out to somebody and they say, you know, we're just browsing right now, we're not ready. Well, would you like to see the houses that are coming soon? Can I send you a list?
Yeah, if they come in on a house and it is contingent, then you can say, look, I got, you know, I have a whole list of houses in Garner coming soon. Can I send you that list? And, you know, they haven't hit the market yet, so you'll be first to know. And they kind of will always reply to that. So coming soon is huge.
Yes.
They think like they're on an exclusive list or something.
And in reality, you're just sending them the
A
stuff
link,
that you already, you're sending the link from your
that you
KV
created in KV Core of coming soon houses.
What happens if they're looking for a unicorn, something that you just know is unrealistic? They want that 17 acres with a 4,000 square foot house in Johnston County
For 250.
for 250. All right, so you know that it's unrealistic. Take the bits and pieces that you can that are realistic and show them what's in their budget. You know, don't say, you know, this is a bad lead. What they want is unrealistic. They don't know that it's unrealistic. You have to set that expectation. So one of the first things I do when I talk to somebody, we've had the back and forth, we're talking about what they're looking for. Okay, great. They gave me their list. All right. Now that you've given me your list, we're going to have real talk conversation. I say it just like that. I want to set my expectations for you. This is what our market is. This is what we're seeing for due diligence. Homes are selling for over asking. I want to prepare you mentally for what you're going to see. I want to explain active houses. I want to explain coming soon, contingent, pending, so that when they're looking on Zillow and Realtor, they understand what they're looking at. So they're not sending me all these houses that are under contract because they think that, well, why is your website not showing me what Zillow is showing me? Because I'm only showing you active and coming soon. I'm not showing you the houses that aren't available to you.
3 months ago.
So that's kind of one of those things that you want to set those expectations for once you finally got them. What else we got, Lana?
What are you guys hearing, like when you talk to people? Just looking,
I'm
just
getting a lot of,
browsing.
I'm getting a lot of
What are you saying, Sarah, when someone asked,
that.
when they say they're just
Basically the same
browsing,
thing you said.
you're asking them
Yeah,
what they're
like,
looking
what
for?
is it that they're looking for? And I recently ran into one lady that's just like, I'm not talking to you. Like she
That's
just
fine. That's
basically
fine.
said, I already told, like, this is the house that I like. And I'm like, I'm sorry, it's under contract. What can we help you with? And she's like, I'm just not talking to you. I'm like, okay. Have a wonderful
At that
day,
point,
you know?
all right, so I will tell you, I'm a little bit more blunt than I was in the beginning with this. When someone comes through and they're nasty on my website, I like to remind them that, hey, just so you know, you filled out
the information to sign in my website, and that's gonna trigger me to call you. So in the future, if you don't want to talk to a real estate agent, I suggest that you hang out on Zillow or Realtor.com. I mean, honestly, sometimes they just don't realize that clicking sign in
Yeah.
is giving their information to a real estate
Yeah.
agent. And I'm doing my job by trying to reach out to you and help you find a house. And if you don't want that right now, that's fine. But if you're going to be nasty about it,
Yeah.
you can
I
go
was
hang
just
out on
like, okay,
Zillow.
I'm good. I'm like, I'm good. I don't need. I don't
I
need
had
that in my
somebody
life.
send a very nasty message to Lana, and the first thing I picked up the phone, I'm just like, this is not an automated system. You're talking to a real person.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, it was really bad.
it-
Like, I was like,
it was
what?
profanity and it was very rude. And I was just like, whoa, lady. Like there was a meme rolling around where someone had sent a text message, like their therapist had sent them a message, and it was like, it looked like it was an automated message. And it's like reminder of your appointment. And the person responded back with, ugh, I'm gonna kill myself. And the agent, the therapist responded with, this is actually not an automated system. Do we need to move your appointment up sooner? And some people, they don't realize that it's automated system, and they'll or it's not an automated system. So they'll just respond in rude ways because they don't think things through. So I have no problem picking up the phone and calling somebody and be like, hey, are you okay? Do you need to talk? So, because that's what you're doing. You're building relationships and you're having conversations. You're asking qualifying questions. When's the last time you guys looked at qualifying questions? You know, you're asking, are you working with a real estate agent? You're probing into what are you looking for? You're putting in all your steps of what you're going to need for this real estate transaction. So when you say scripts, it's not that you're taking this to heart. It's bullet points. It's just like this slide that I made today. This slide doesn't have any content on it. It just says scripts, because that's what I'm going to talk about is scripts. And that's basically what you're going to be doing in your real estate career is you're just writing down the things that you want to talk about so that you can, when you're having these conversations with people, you're not reading, hi, this is Lana with eXp Realty. How are you doing today? No, you're just doing it so that if you're talking and you're getting flustered and you don't remember what you're going to talk about, you can look down on your piece of paper and you say, oh, great. I'm calling because I noticed you were looking at properties on our website. We all have that brain fart moment where we're just like, oh my God, what, don't panic. I was blessed that I have worked in call centers and I had years of training on how to talk to somebody. So
You sound like a tour guide.
I do. And
Let me
that's
lead
what
you
this
through.
is. I am your tour guide. I'm your tour guide to how you guys are going to be successful in real estate. I'm my buyer's tour guide on how they're going to buy their house or how they're going to sell their house.
You did that.
So, and yes, my father is very much like that. So it kind of runs in the family, but I don't like public speaking. I don't like talking to people that I'm not getting paid to talk to. So it is me coming out of my shell to do this stuff, and not just with you guys, but with buyers and sellers. I struggle with it, but I have goals that I want to reach financially that I know that I can't reach any other way other than picking up the phone and talking to people. So if you guys didn't have the motivation to do that before, hope that you leave with it today, because it's really not that hard. You have these people already coming to you. I've shown you how to get the leads, shown you what you need to do to procure them. So this is how you're going to respond to them. And you don't have to take the script that I've given you and do it verbatim. You can change it into your wording.
Make it comfortable for you.
Make it what works for you. AT&T would give us these scripts of what you'd have to say after every call. And thank God they didn't want us to read it verbatim, but they would have bullet points and they put it in red of like, this is what we need to touch on. And that's really what I want you guys to do too, is kind of take what you guys need to say and kind of work it out. And that's where it's going to come in handy to do role play. No, we don't like it. It's scary. They made us do it in real estate school where we had to do the Working Real Estate Roadshow. Remember that? We had to role play with our friends. That was not fun. I don't like it. But you guys didn't have to role play? I hate you all. God. So that's something that we're going to start doing. We're going to start doing role playing.
Here's another thing, like when you're talking to people and they give you an objection, like, yeah, I'm just looking, or, oh, I was actually looking for my friend, write those down. And then later come up with ways to handle that. So the next time that somebody said, because you'll find it's like the same 5 things over and over and over again. Have something to say next. Come up with something to say and get the conversation going.
All right, so now that we've talked about scripts, let's talk about follow-up. How often should you follow up? So Lana's starting with a text or a phone call. And then what's the second step? What are we doing next? I'm putting you on the spot. We really didn't plan for this
No.
training today. This is the first time we're doing this. So what's your standard? What do you normally do?
First, I text them and I see if I can
Set up a time to call.
schedule a time to call them.
Okay.
And usually they answer, honestly, but I'll usually get one of these things. So.
You'll get an exact thing. So
But then they'll keep looking on the website. So then I'll just keep, I'm going by, when I'm in KB4, I'm looking at my hot leads every day. Like, because we have thousands of leads, so I can't follow up with thousands of leads. So I just go by,
which is why we're hiring an ISA.
yeah, she's going to actually start from the beginning and go through all of those leads and touch.
But
base
if you're
with
not there for an
everybody.
ISA yet, just take the couple that you have and try and do the ones that are most recent and active.
If you have a lot of people in your system, just take your hot leads because they're on there, they're looking and they're ready to roll. So those are the ones I concentrate on.
Yes.
And I will hit them every time they show up as a hot lead. If they look at a property, they'll be in there tomorrow too.
So I can tell you
So-
another thing too. So it is so important to try and ask for them to get in front of them because that's how you're going to land them as a lead, as a buyer client. What I would do is we talked about inviting them to open houses. We talked about inviting them out to coffee. Don't take them out to dinner. You've never met this person before. You want a short date. Pretend that you're on Tinder. You're meeting them for the first time. You do not want to spend 45 minutes with somebody the first time you meet them
No.
because it might be awful and you might want to just grab your coffee and leave. So kind of think about, somewhere where you're going to only have them for a little bit.
But know what you're gonna say also, and
Yes.
and mostly what you want to do is ask questions.
Yes.
You want to know
And I
what's
have-
important to them.
And I have a buyer qualification page too that I can send you guys that kind of goes through and asks those 10 important questions of what you're supposed to be asking. Another thing that you can do too is they're on your KB Core website. They're looking at a particular property. Say, can we set up a showing to see this property? It may not be the one that they're going to end up buying, but you're having that opportunity to meet them because maybe they say no to coffee, but they're 100% okay to start shopping. So use that as an excuse to meet them and to get in front of them. So that's really going to be your goal there, and be consistent. Don't start following up with them and tell them you're going to send them houses and then not do it. You have to keep on them. You have to keep following up with them. One of the things that I kind of took away from yesterday's team mastermind that we had for team leaders was that you really shouldn't have more than 15 active leads at a time.
It's too much. You just can't do it.
Yeah, so you got to kind of like grab those and work with them, but make sure you're still lead genning and you're pulling people in. But if you can't handle what you have in front of you, start referring things out because you don't want to be overwhelmed. When you start having 1,500 leads in your system, you're just not going to respond to them all, and you can't be consistent. Set the appointment. Set an appointment. It can be an
the
appointment
house.
at the house. It could be at your Starbucks. It could be
At their house, if it's
as a
somebody
seller.
has something to sell.
Yes. You can invite them to the office. Say, I just want to have a buyer consultation with you and meet you and see what you're looking for.
20 minutes.
All you need is 20 minutes. There is a buyer checklist inside of the marketing center for EXP. If you go into the EXP marketing center, I can help you guys set up folders for first time buyers that have like your bio, has just information about the roadmap to buying a house. Having something tangible to give them will really set you apart from anybody else they're meeting because they're interviewing you and you're interviewing them. Because
And a great opportunity to use your free EXP folders.
yes, and your cards that you want to hand out. So once you've set the appointment, it's really just from there is closing your deal. So it's not hard. It's not as scary as it sounds. It's really just you getting out there and picking up the phone and calling people. Right. And this, and then we can